Welcome, abused soldiers, to Geek Salad's review of episode 5 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I legitimately had nothing for that, and it shows.
Yeah. It was good.
I really just need to stop doing the call. I have to do a call. I've done over 200 call outs, so I don't really know what more I can do. I really don't.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's tough being creative, especially with the week I've had. So let's
fair enough.
Let's talk about episode 5 of Falcon.
I'm Mike. He's Andy.
Oh yes, sorry, Andy, Mike.
Hi.
It's been a long week. Hey everyone. So yes, and we are here to discuss what might be the best episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet.
Very much entirely possible. There's also a very nice kind of almost an aperitif, kind of a come down after the exact action and pretty rough moments of the last couple episodes.
There was nothing in this episode that was like the thing in episode 4 where you're just like,
yeah,
just like sometimes you have that moment watching something and you're like, oh my god, what did I just watch? Good or bad. And then you spent all week waiting to see what was going to happen. And this is one of the reasons why I love the Disney Plus model of there is no binge. What is this binge you refer to? One episode a week. You got to wait it out, my friend.
Yep. And I do love the fact that, they, after the final shot of the last week's episode, they deal with it where they deal with that right off the bat, like first 10-15 minutes of this episode.
Before the credits.
They deal with that. And then the rest of the episode is just kind of fallout from that and building towards what's coming up in the finale.
Yeah. I fully agree with you on that. I think that the John Walker showed his true self in the first 5 minutes of this episode. And over the weekend, my kids and I actually watched Captain America, the First Avenger. And the discussion that Tommy Lee Jones has with Stanley Tucci about, well, he's big, he's strong, follows orders, he's a soldier.
He's a bully.
And Dr. Erskine's like, he's a bully. And that's exactly what the military figured was going to make the next Captain America. They didn't have somebody like Steve that would jump on a grenade.
Right.
They had a guy who makes excuses for his actions.
Right. I was listening to a podcast or some review of this episode. It was interesting. It was like they said something like John Walker and like all those soldiers that they were looking at and back in World War II, they were kind of built. They were like, they were formed as soldiers. Steve Rogers was born the way he is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of and you can't replicate that. Like they tried to replicate it with John Walker. They couldn't do it. And he was striving to be Steve Rogers, but he wasn't striving to be Captain America.
Right. No, I fully agree with you on that. I feel like John Walker is every high school quarterback that, just goes in there and lets the Letterman's jacket do the talking for him. And, when you're saying stuff like, don't you know who I am? I'm Captain America. That's not, I don't honestly believe that I ever heard Steve refer to himself as I'm Captain America, other than maybe just like as an introduction, not as a threat.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
And that's the thing, is that now we're seeing the seeds now that they are building to U.S. Agent.
But I mean, the thing about John Walker though is that you can kind of see things from his point of view as well. It's not enough that you're like, okay, that justifies what you're doing, but like when he's in that trial in the Senate before the Senate committee there, and he's like I've followed every single order you've ever given me, all that. Like, it's like he's not lying.
No, he's not lying. But the I think the issue is that there is a difference between doing what you're told and doing what's right. Court Martial scheme was so perfectly acted by Wyatt Russell. He reminds me of the jocks that I went to school with that acted like that. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like they're acting a certain way that they're supposed to act. And then when they do something wrong, they don't quite comprehend, what you did was bad. In this case, dude, you took a dude's head off with your shield.
Yeah.
And you no longer represent what that shield represents.
Right.
But again, that's the issue with the shield. I feel like Sam respects the shield so much, he doesn't want any part of it. Because he doesn't feel like he could live up to it. John Walker just sees the shield as just that. It is a shield for him. It's a shield for him to allow him to indulge the soldier that he's become.
Yeah.
Where essentially it's not about right or wrong. It's about getting the mission done no matter what.
Right. Actually, and while we're still on John Walker here, the scene where he's talking to Lamar's parents.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Remember, totally justified. This is your bad take for the day. Yep.
But
Kurt, I guess I got a thought on that. I'm going to go into that after Mike gets his thought in.
I just when he talks to Lamar's parents and he says, "Oh yeah, I got the guy that did it." He knows he's lying.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is this a good lie or a bad lie? Because, I mean, yeah, he's not telling them the truth, but he's also giving them like a sense of kind of false closure, but it is still closure.
I feel like it's partially comfort for them, but I think it's him lying to himself that I got the guy. And he even said that to Sam and Bucky. He killed Lamar. And they're like, no, he didn't kill Lamar. He was surrendering to you. And that's the thing is that, he is going to make any excuse to justify what he did.
Yeah.
And, it's unfortunate that now in, just our just current climate that we see a lot of that. It's like, well, what else did you want me to do? Well, not kill him, And this show, it's weird because this show was shot pre-pandemic, was supposed to be released before Falcon and Winter Soldier, and is so prescient to today's society. It's just, it's like Zootopia. Do you remember when Zootopia came out?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how in the hell did they know all this stuff already?
It's actually, it's prescient, but it's also like, oh, so yeah, what we're dealing with back when this was filmed, we're still dealing with it today.
Yeah.
So it's prescient, but it's also like, we haven't really gotten all that much better.
No. But getting back to what Kurt was saying about like the bad take, I guarantee after Friday, we are going to see more bad takes on this Sam with the shield versus Walker with the shield. And I mean, Rob Liefeld, he who can't draw feet, was just like, best MCU character. Like, what?
I mean, Wyatt Russell is doing a magnificent job acting this character.
Killing it. He is absolutely killing this.
But the character is not a good character at all.
Right, exactly. And that's the funny thing too, is that like and having these conversations, it's like you cannot look at this character and admire him, because usually what happens is when I say that, there's like, well, Wyatt Russell's doing a great job. Like, yeah, Wyatt Russell is doing a great job of being a guy that you shouldn't admire.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. But yeah, no, I can't. The deluge of bad takes on Friday is going to be insane, especially because one thing the show is doing really well is when Sam was talking to Isaiah. He's like, this is for you. And Isaiah's just like, they won't let me have that.
Yeah, he even
they
says,
won't
"Don't
let
even
a black man be Captain America," and that is come Friday, come Saturday. See our bad takes on why Sam doesn't deserve to have the shield.
Yeah, he even says, don't even take that shield out of the bag. I don't want it. And I love it. He says, and no self-respecting black man should want it. And I'm like, I completely understand why Isaiah feels that way.
Yeah.
But it's also like he's let everything he's gone through kind of take all the hope away from him.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, I understand why he would do that, but Sam still has the hope inside him, which is why I think it makes him the perfect choice to carry on the shield. And he seems to finally acknowledge that.
Yeah, no, he does. And I love watching that with him, like practicing with the shield, especially like doing like the twist throws. It's funny because I had to describe to two people today the same thing about the shield. Just how, when you throw it, it's like that would take your, for an untrained person, that would take your hand off. It's like, yeah, but Spider-Man said it in Civil War. That thing doesn't obey the laws of physics.
Yeah, well,
it's funny too because like my bigger thing of like just blending the reality in there is why is it whenever they catch it, they're always able to catch it by one of the handles?
Yeah,
there are two straps on the back of there. How do you always manage to get it right in that outer strap?
That takes skill, man.
That takes skill, yeah.
And as we can see, it's not easy. Especially if you don't have a vibranium arm and super soldier skills.
I thought that was really good. The stuff also, just kind of like finishing up with John Walker, is that, we're introduced to Val.
Yeah.
Madam Hydra.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's had a few names over the years in the comics.
She has. I'm looking forward to seeing where they take her. If they leave her in the TV version of the MCU or they bring her into the movies. I mean, obviously now there's no line of delineation. She could be in both.
Yeah.
But you do not hire someone like Julia Louis-Dreyfus just for a cameo.
Yeah, no. I've heard rumors that her character was actually introduced in Black Widow. But because Black Widow was pushed off, we're meeting her here first.
So that's going to be really interesting then when, Black Widow does come out about how do we react to this? I mean, I don't know if it's made for that applause line like they like that Nick Fury reveal at the end of Iron Man. I don't know if that's the case.
I also it's I know I've heard this a lot online, and I'm kind of hoping it's true. It looks like they're kind of setting up for the Thunderbolts.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually yep.
Yeah, with Baron Zemo in the raft now, and John Walker's building his own shield. It looks like they're kind of setting things up.
I think that would be really interesting, especially because Thunderbolt Ross is the one who built the raft.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will be really interesting. This weekend was kind of fun too, because this weekend I kind of delved in with the kids on a lot of Captain America. So we finished watching Civil War. So I was able to kind of like pick up little pieces there, especially with the stuff with the raft, because we had just finished episode 5 and Zemo getting carted off. He's going to go to the raft. It's like, oh, what's the raft, Daddy? Well, you're going to see that in just a minute. Oh, there they are. And then, going into First Avenger and seeing like the parallels of Steve is everything that John Walker is not.
Right.
And even looking at like Winter Soldier and just seeing that, because there is really no more S.H.I.E.L.D., that the military, the U.S. military, is mainly using John Walker as a bludgeon, kind of like Rumlow and the rest of those S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in Winter Soldier. It's Speaking of Winter Soldier, we got Batroc back.
Yes, we did. I was hoping that we wouldn't lose him after the first episode.
Yeah, no, it's so funny because like the MCU does such a fantastic job kind of reshaping stupid characters. Batroc the Leaper is a dumb character.
He can leap.
He's an insane. I can't wait for Tarantula to show up with his pointed choice. He's just like, yeah, Batroc the Leaper is such a dumb villain. But I mean, they've done a great job with like, look at the Vulture.
Yeah.
Comic book Vulture versus Spider-Man Homecoming Vulture. Or Mysterio even. They've done a great job taking these dumb villains.
And they even kept the fishbowl head.
I know. It's so funny. We're back to comics accurate now, and it's actually really rocking. Well, even with Batroc, his uniform is comics, at least color-wise, is comics accurate. But yeah, I think George St. Pierre is great. He doesn't need to do that much acting. No. Most of it is in his native French, and because he's such a skilled mixed martial artist, he works this role. It's a minimal role. It's a very small supporting role, but he does such a good job in what little he's asked to do. I was excited to see him again. I would like to see him back on Friday.
I think that's pretty much a given.
It's tough to say what's going to be a given in this episode. I saw like the episode 6 preview, and it's like, I don't know how much of this stuff is actually real.
Yeah, well, I mean, given what he was saying to Sharon, who just seems more and more likely that she's the power broker.
You know what though? The funny thing is, it's almost like I feel like they're setting up to think she's the power broker. I almost feel like it's too obvious at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. But
they could honestly make Carl Malice. They have not introduced him yet. It could be a character we've not yet been introduced to. Carl Malice is a really good name for that. But
yeah, I mean, like with what he said, like, you know, I just want revenge on the Falcon. You don't say a line like that and then not give them another fight,
right? Unless that's just like previously on, and it's like season 2. It's like I just want to kill the Falcon.
Especially not if Falcon is taking on the Captain America mantle.
Exactly.
A rematch of Captain America versus Batroc the Leaper.
Oh man. Yeah, but I really, the thing is also, I like the fact that we took a little bit of time to slow down.
Yeah.
To go back to Sam's initial story about, restoring the boat and Bucky helping him and hitting on his sister a lot.
But it did not seem like it was one way though. She had a couple eyes onto him, on Bucky. I also really love when Bucky's like, Steve and I didn't really consider what it would be like to give a black man the shield, and I'm sorry about that. I mean, and then
it's a nice palate cleanser. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that's the thing about this storytelling, is that they're not afraid to take a step back, to sit down, have some labels out Heineken, and just take a moment to
and fix a boat.
Just be human beings. What's that?
And fix a boat.
Exactly. Told you who was in that water filter. Yeah, well, in all fairness, I thought we'd be done long before you showed up. So.
It doesn't matter if you've gone to different worlds and fought Thanos. You still don't mess with Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah Wilson.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, what's interesting about this compared to WandaVision is that there are more breakout characters, even characters that have made appearances before.
Yeah.
That have really broken out. I mean, with WandaVision, the real breakout character was Agatha.
Yeah.
Yeah. really about it. I mean, because we were already established with Wanda and with Vision.
I mean.
Oh, I'm sorry. Monica as well. I apologize.
Yeah, Monica, and you know what? I'd also throw in the kids. I really like those kids.
I like those kids too. But I think with this, it's just like we get to see more of Daniel Bruhl as Zemo, and that was definitely something we needed to see. We're talking about Wyatt Russell just doing an amazing job.
We saw more of the Dora Milaje.
Yep, so more of the Dora Milaje. We saw how they can, we were able to see them just more better, like close quarters, hand to hand combat.
Don't mess with them.
So,
doing great, John.
I am enjoying what I'm seeing, and I really want. Well, first of all, I love when they opened up the briefcase.
Yeah,
because all I can think of is Pulp Fiction. It's just Marcellus Wallace's soul. That's it. It just glows.
I'm glad they didn't show it though, because the first time you want to see that, you want to see it on Anthony Mackie.
Right. Exactly. And I think we're gonna. It was just like the Spider-Man reveal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that they're doing an amazing job with the storytelling here, and it's a nice slow burn. I don't feel like we're rushing into anything. I don't feel like John Walker's initial, he is Captain America storyline was rushed.
No.
I think the biggest issue I have with this show, and it's more of a quibble than anything else, I just feel like there's too many sides that are playing off of each other right now. And it's almost like it needs to be, I mean, if Sharon's the power broker, then great. Sharon's the power broker. But I really kind of feel like a lot of her story is just getting lost in the shuffle. But I appreciate that they're showing that she's a little disheartened because she had to be on the run.
Yeah. And I do think that some of the complaints that like the Flag Smasher storyline is just kind of it's not as clear cut as and I've heard a rumor that there was originally a storyline where they were going to be like their big plan was they're going to release like a deadly plague over the world, and I can completely understand why that got cut.
Well, that's the whole thing with the vaccines too. They showed that like those crates of vaccines.
Yeah.
Like in the second episode. Yeah. I think a lot of that was cut because that stuff was filmed pre-COVID. Yeah. And now, it's just like it was just sacrificed for the betterment of all. And it just kind of left the Flag Smasher storyline kind of twisting a little bit.
Yeah.
Carly. I like
Carly a lot.
I like what I'm seeing with her developing as a character. Not so much the Flag Smashers, but I'm liking her arc. Yeah. And who knows? We got one more episode. We've taken our step back. We've been able to establish what's going on. We've seen Walker making his own shield. I love it too. It's not made of vibranium. I'd love to see how well that thing holds up.
That is solid hard steel, man. I do like the fact that he put his medals of honor on it.
Oh yeah, because they're essentially, I mean, they're just tin now. He's been what was the term they used? Less than honorably discharged, or other than honorably. I think it's
less than honorably.
No, I don't think they actually used the word less. I think they said other than honorably discharged. Because they did not use the term dishonorably discharged. That's what you tell your friends.
Yeah. Walker receives an other than honorable discharge.
Other than honorable, yes, okay.
Which, it seems like it's not as bad as a dishonorable discharge, but it doesn't seem like it's good at all.
Well, I think that might just be the euphemism that they use. It's made from used cars, used cans of Monster Energy drink.
Yeah, that wasn't Super Soldier, sir. He's just been down in energy.
Yep. You get 3 of those in you before 7 a.m. and ready to rock. I'm looking forward to seeing if we actually see him confront Sam. at the end of this episode. It's all up in the air. You know, Friday is going to be a fun day because I'll be honest with you, I am planning on watching that early in the day and then watch it with my kids later, pretending I didn't watch it already.
Yeah,
well, like I did with the entire season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'll be watching it when I get home from work.
Yep, exactly. And trust us, we'll be bugging you.
I know you
will. Sorry, it's what we do.
I know.
Oh, I gotta watch it on Friday. Saturday's my anniversary, so I gotta watch it then.
Well, then you watch it with Autumn.
No. She's done. She's tapped out on the Marvel stuff. So.
Aww.
It's okay. It's okay. I have a Roku downstairs. I can watch it here if I wanted to. So anyway, that's all I got to say about episode 5. Looking forward to episode 6.
Yeah, episode 5.
And then
Truth.
In a couple more weeks, we get some Loki action going on.
Ooh, that'll be a fun one.
I agree. So, we want to know, what are your thoughts on episode 5 of Falcon and Winter Soldier? Leave a polite comment below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We do this every week. And throughout any of the Disney Plus MCU shows, we're pretty much going to be doing this as a follow-up to our retro movie reviews, so you can check them all out here. You can also subscribe to our podcast, Geek Salad, which is available wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it. You can check it out there. Leave us a review on iTunes. And throughout the month of April, please go to Podchaser and review us there as well. Podchaser is donating 25 cents to every review that we get. So we can get 25 cents to Meals on Wheels. If we reply back to it, they get another 25 cents. So it's a win-win. So definitely do that. If you want to follow us on social media, please do so at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter and Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook. Check out our merch store where you get all your cool Geek Salad merchandise. It's at TeePublic, keyword Geek Salad Podcast. And I think I hit it all, Mike.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Cool. So until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you next